So, in the nature of things, there are two general possible paths.
Yep.
There's the secular path. Now, the secular path is there are possibilities. Things can happen. Things can work out. It's politicking. You make a negotiation. The negotiation goes well or badly, or But you can change things.
Yes.
You can make differences, and so under that we voted to leave the EU. The law is complied with, and so on. And there are arguments toing and froing beforehand. You notice all this argument, all this stuff, Anna Sobri calling people Nazi, and all this sort of nonsense going on. This is in the nature of politics, and you'd expect under normal situations for that to apply. That when it comes to it, we do leave. Then there are some good things, some not so good things, some bad things that will happen afterwards.
Yeah.
But in the end, you muddle through. You keep going.
Yeah.
The other possibility is much more interesting, because that's the spiritual, where there are things that are set already ahead of time, and that no matter what you do, you cannot escape them. So that it may be that no matter what we do, we can't leave the EU, because according to what's foretold, we are supposed to be part of the realm of the beast. Now, this is it's not certain, but that's how it might be. If it's a spiritual line, and if that's what happened, that may be why, because it's foretold. And you read Revelation, you get some idea of some of the really terrifying things that are going to happen to Europe in particular, because it's based on the Treaty of Rome, the Seven Hills of Rome. It's based on Rome. The realm of the Empire of Rome is based on that. So Britain is not necessarily part of that, but it probably is. And so if we are prevented, contrary to reason, we were looking at what's sensible, how could that happen? Yes? If it happens that it's something that how could we not leave the EU? And it may just be that we're not meant to leave the EU. In which case, at which stage, then you can expect things to get really nasty, truly nasty, because the EU stated its plans. It's in the Lisbon Treaty. It's stated in the Lisbon Treaty the things that they're going to do. They'll force us to get rid of the pound. They will force us to accept vast numbers more migrants, who will then disrupt society more and more. All sorts of difficult things will happen because of the infrastructure being unable to cope and all that sort of stuff. So it's like I've sometimes said to people, I know what's coming.
Yes.
And I say, are you afraid? And they say, no. I say, you will be.
Okay.
Because I know what's coming. I know how it can be, how dangerous, scary, terrifying, so scary that people will call on the mountains to fall. This is a quote from the scriptures. Fall on the mountains to hide them from the terrible things that are happening. And that's possible. It was amusingly used in Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker is talking to Master Yoda. And Luke Skywalker says, I can train. I can train to be a Jedi. I'm not afraid. And Master Yoda looks at him. The puppet curls up his face and, you will be. Which is, I think, is really, it's really quite interesting. So, do I look disturbed by this?
Not particularly.
No, I'm not. I'm knowing the possibilities, I'm, as they say, sanguine to these matters. I'm bloody about it. That's all right, We all die eventually, and if it gets that nasty that I get killed in the process, okay.
Well, killed from what?
By what? By things going on, I mean, if that's what happens, well, okay, I'll cope with that. So there's no point in being upset or overly troubled by it, mainly because I know about these things. So.
Okay.